Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to our regular Sunday morning meditation and teaching. So, thank you very much. Please secure your space and your good intention, and even better, good attention, so that our practice of meditation greatly boosts our ability to not only meditate but apply this calm and peaceful conduct in our everyday to-day life. So we'll begin with the prayers. Join your hands to the heart, be inclusive of others and future and our mind stream, so as make it as inclusive as possible. Thank you. Oyenda Buddha Dhamma Sangha Atere Videla Dhamma Bhavaja Ayendala Ashare Buddha Vajue Endabu Dharma Sangha Atere Videla Dhamma Bhavaja Ayendala Ashare Buddha Vajue Endabu Dharma Sangha Atere Videla Dhamma Bhavaja Ayendala Ashare Buddha Vajue. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they know apart from happiness that know no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near and far. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they know apart from happiness that know no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near and far. May all beings have happiness, a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they know apart from happiness that know no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near and far. So, as most of you are familiar, we'll do the meditation here in 3 slots of 10 minutes. So, we'll have a short few seconds mini break after the each 10 minutes, and during that you use your techniques of one-pointed concentration and sitting still, observing the posture, following the forward counting of breath as well as reverse counting of breath, so that your quality of doing the meditation, scanning the posture, following the breath, knowing what to think, and see and feel, try to make a very synchronized mind-body harmony, to stay very present, minus the dullness, boredom, laziness, and scatteredness, but try to bring our attention. So with this, we'll do the Karma Body meditation. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for sitting very still and doing the meditation with great discipline. So, if you are able to have the habit, discipline to do regular calm abiding meditation, you will see your mind become really constituted, to become clarified, not only during the time, but so after effect of that, there is a lot of clarity. You see things and you understand things, and your thought and your choice of thoughts or your opinions and what you do, what you may not do, become so done in a very calm and careful manner that you do not have this erratic need to do things under pressure by circumstances, because you are in control. So therefore, calm abiding meditation is a great gift. Thank you, everyone. This morning, I'm going to give a talk on dealing with loss, because many people are often not coping with loss. So firstly, we can see what are the things we can experience a loss to the extent of not coping with that. We could say health, we could say loved ones, we could say a certain, I would say, relationships, and maybe certain positions, and maybe status. So what are these? What are these that we experience a loss? Of course, loss suggests that we did gain some time ago. We gained something, that we treasure it, that without it, it gives a big hole. It makes a big hole. So, for instance, if you have been enjoying good health all these years, and then all of a sudden you have been diagnosed with a particular terminal illnesses, then a person has a sense of not much left of his or her life. So it looks that when you become diagnosed, there is a loss of ability to live healthily as you may have done in the past. And it's relatively true, because if you didn't consult the doctor, if you didn't have any symptoms, you may not know that you will be dying, or even though you know you will die, but you will not know die. You have more likelihood of dying from cancer or this or that. A lot of people die from many things that they never knew they will die from. So sometimes the diagnosis is just a cause of fear rather than the actual thing. So, but people do experience serious terminal illnesses, will experience severe inability, whether it's health or fitness or what you could do with your body, whether you can even go to your work or not. So once you experience, say, because of the ill health, you can't go to work. And so that will have quite a lot of sense of loss in terms of income, in terms of your usefulness, and particularly you may have a lot of experience, a skill up your sleeves, but you are not able to perform them because of the illness. So this definitely is quite a valid thing. Most people will be threatened by that loss. So another is the loss of loved ones. Loss of loved one, like father or mother or someone very near and dear in your life. And this is a common experience. If we don't experience loss, they will experience loss of us. Because what if we die young, and then our parents would suffer? Maybe they didn't have a lot of time to have us. We died so young. So if you are such a parent, which there are some parents who have lost the young ones, they only had the hard labor to bring us up for a couple of years. After that, the child died. Of course, quite a lot of parents mothers, particularly poor thing, cannot cope with the loss of the only child, and then her almost ability to have another child is put a big question. Some parents are not so, almost they fear that might happen same thing if they have a second child because first one died or whatever. So there are lots of people who experience the loss of what we call karmic death. Some people are born in a life only for a couple of years and then they die. There are many parents or many people who have lost some very young member of the family, and a lot of people are suffering that loss still. They are depressed. They don't know why me and why poor that little thing died, and so on. So loss of loved one, loss of ill health, and of course loss of relationship, because most relationship, particularly, have a very volatile situation. Unless the karma is so good between the two people to work with lots of tolerance, understanding, patience, and compassion, or there's always a tendency to clash between two people's opinions and what they want from each other, what they're willing to do or not willing to do, and how they do, and so on. People become very, very nitpicking and very, very calculative, and then if one of the two is not careful, it's very easy to lose each other. There are so many people who have lost relationships, and they may even be dumped. They may call I was dumped, or they just don't want you. They tell you get out, get out of my life. As simple as that. They almost give you a kind of deadline, before next Saturday you get out of my life. And people have been evicted, and they were never ready for that. Whatever flaws they have, or that they could never accept the loss. So you can experience many types of loss, or your position because you lost, you couldn't keep your job because they made you redundant. Maybe it wasn't fault of you at all. No, it was fault of their own because they can't keep hiring you because the company isn't making any money for themselves, let alone pay you. So some people have been fired, because if you have been hired, there will be a tendency you will be fired one day. So loss is not a result of nothing; it's a result of hiring. When you got the job, you were so happy, don't you? Oh, I got the job, and so every gain's got a loss, So it's inevitable. It's just question is whether we are mature enough to deal with the loss, or with the understanding, or we think it's terrible, they fired me, and things like that. So subject of today's topic is about how not to suffer the loss. Because loss suggests you're attached to something that doesn't exist in you, that no longer exists. You no longer have that. Because any gain, whether it's position or relationship or good health or child or a promotion, any gains is inevitably going to be cause of loss. Particularly you're attached to it. In practice of Dharma, if you practice the way of the enlightened one, you have to renounce all of those things deliberately in order to not let they become cause of attachment. And your attachment. And if you're attached to something, you're desiring that, and then you will do all kinds of things in order to keep it by hook or crook. And that's where people lie, people do all kinds of negative things because they're attached to something. So sometimes the abrupt end of something is probably a blessing in disguise. So why we have to suffer loss when we need to let go of that? I mean, have you, when your wisdom tooth was removed, and did you come home and were missing that wisdom tooth? You probably feel relieved. I'm glad that tooth, useless tooth, was out of my mouth, and now it stopped causing pain in my mouth. You might even have to pay to remove the tooth. So when the thing is used by date, it's good that they are removed. So if it's a relationship or it's your body because of your kidney or whatever is no longer useful, and you lost a kidney or you lost this, it's not good. If you kept that going, it will in fact disease will spread to the rest of the other organs. So you are one less kidney. Who cares? You don't need two anyway. So it's just like a spare tire. It's good to use the spare tire and get rid of the one that is not used. So every single sense of loss is suffering of a loss is not because tragedy happened to you, because you're attached to it. If you're attached to your relationship or position or health or your status, you will suffer loss, Old age is suffering. Old age is not a suffering in itself if you're attached to our fitness and youthfulness. Otherwise, if you see your body becoming older and older, you don't suffer the loss of ability or youth and fitness. You just say, I enjoy so many years of fitness and youth and strength. So you start rejoicing the number of years you had enjoy strength and health, rather than lamenting the fact that you are losing your bodily ability. The body everybody's body has a certain karmic lifespan, and when your lamp, if you're burning a butter lamp, and you pour maybe a quarter of a liter oil in the butter lamp, and the butter lamp is burning. When the butter lamp burn out, you don't say, I lost all those oil, do you? You don't say, what a terrible thing, I lost all the oil. You actually rejoice the fact that your lamp burns so well, and until there's not a single drop left, I can make a new one. New wick, new butter, new wick, and new butter lamp. So because when we are willing to, when you're willing to lose something, let go of something, it's not a loss. It's a freedom. It's a freedom. I know somebody. He's not coping with his breakup of his relationship, and I said, you got freedom now. Don't think you have lost them. You have now freedom. Freedom. Now you're really free. You can now really do what you like. You don't have the person doing this, asking you to do this, nagging you this. Now you have complete freedom. So you should not think you have lost them, but you have gained freedom. Gain freedom, Gain freedom, There's of course, when like the Buddha, when the Buddha left home, he didn't feel he was losing home or wife or father or country. He just wanted to have freedom from them. He gave up all of that. Is there others who are attached to him? They suffered the loss. He did not suffer the loss. So he was blamed for being abandoning his wife and child and kingdom and all that. People will always say something, But to you're actually letting them get freedom, and letting them have the real freedom. And so, of course, if you experience a loss of a position, for instance. The position is not permanent anyway, You can see sometimes on newspaper they say position vacant, and they want to fill the position. You never had the position permanently. It's only some time ago you got the position when they needed it. When they didn't need it, the position is not something you can gain it. So even the fact that you can have a position is because others need it, not because you want it. Others don't need it; they cannot give you a position. Others don't need a school teacher; they will not hire you one, even if you think you are a great school teacher. Your school teacherness is nothing truly existing, nothing truly permanent, nothing fantastic. Even the others do not want a school teacher. There is no no school teacher in you if others don't hire you. So therefore, when they say, "Look, we don't need you anymore because we don't need one," whatever the reason they say, when they wanted, they hired you and you got the position. Yeah, and now when they don't need you, you don't. It's not a fault of you. It's not a fault of them. It's just the way it is. So therefore, instead of becoming attached to it, I say, now I can go and find another job. Maybe it's not a school teaching job, but I can, reinvent myself, do something else totally new. You think like that, then you have the freedom to do that. You can apply a new job. You can go have a little break or do other things that you didn't get time to do instead of mourning and groaning, saying, "I lost, they fired me." So you can always see when people are dealing with the loss of a job, being fired, and they feel really angry or they feel upset. They say, "What's my fault? Why they didn't give me enough notice?" All of those things. But you need to be proactive in terms of dealing with loss. Meaning, you need to see it's your attachment. If someone dumped you, it's because you're attached to them. They used to be very attached to you too. And if you dump them, they will be very upset. But they don't need you. So full stop. So don't be stupid in thinking that you want them, because you should feel grateful. I'm glad they gave me freedom. They give me freedom to be renew myself. When what we call in Buddhism, you have to renounce the very things that you attach to. Because sooner or later, every meeting will part, every acquisition will be squandered, every birth will meet with the death, every health will meet with ill health, and every friend almost becomes a not friend. So that's the nature of all things. So therefore, you have not a loss of friend here. Maybe your friend decide not to be friend anymore with you, or maybe you're not as good as they thought. I mean, you're pretty inadequate anyway. Even to yourself, you don't like it very often. So why should the person always like you? You also sometimes like to cancel your own friendship to you. If somebody is not so nice to you, you stop doing things with them or what them. So quite natural. So it's the nature of many things. So it's very important to see the loss of friendship as if it is mutually beneficial, the friendship will last. If mutually not beneficial, if particularly the other one doesn't want to be friend with you, then it's stupid for you to think that you have lost them. They have liberated you. They have given you freedom to have another friend. This enables you to have an open-mindedness about that you can. You're not. They are not they are not what you call indispensable. Nor are you indispensable. We are only dependent on other factors. Because of that, if you lost some money, I'm not talking about gambling. And gambling is a technique of losing money, anyways. So people think they're going to win money, but they're actually going to lose money. And they come home $5,000 less in their account because they went gambling. And so if you lost $5,000 because you did it, you deliberately played so that you can win. But if you were willing to win somebody's money, And you should also be willing to lose your money to somebody else. So, if he also came to win, you also came to win, but there can only be one winner and not two. So because of they won, you didn't win. So did you lose it? So in Buddhistically we say, of course, nobody will gamble. Buddhist people do not gamble. But if they lost the money in some investment or misplacement or whatever, or share or whatever, the values never came back, whatever, we usually say that it was that money that you owed to them from past lives. We think like that. Oh, I must have owed the money to them before. Maybe 1/5 of it I owed. Now the interest and after a few lifetimes is 5 times more. You should think like that. Oh, may whoever got my money, may they be much happier than I used to have had that. I didn't have the benefit of possessing that. It become a cause of my worry, anxiety, competitiveness, jealousy, meanness, all of that. Now I'm liberated. Now I'm free to become a mendicant. I can truly practice, and I can just don't worry about that. I can truly practice, because teaching deliberately says you have to renounce all, so that you can be free to practice. Usually we're enslaved, not being able to practice because we're always busily harboring and working so hard to earn and to save things. We are so greedy. Greed is a cause of suffering, and absence of attachment to possessions is a great gain for spiritual freedom and realization. We all want liberation. People call salvation in some religious term. Liberation. We're talking not liberation from samsara in Buddhism. Samsara doesn't mean a place. Samsara means the vicious cycle of greed, hatred, attachment, competitiveness, possessiveness, winning, having victory. All this is the samsara. One shouldn't go after victory. One shouldn't go after winning, because if you go after winning, you will experience loss sooner or later. You will not always win. You look at all the World Cup winners in the soccer World Cup winners. Some country may have won maybe 3 times over the last 30 years. Maybe they have lost that many times. Then they would have lost just as many times. They came second 5 times. They won only one actually won once. So they lost 5 times. They only won once. Everybody who want to win is so many, and there only is one winner. So the chances of us losing is much greater than winning, particularly if you are willing to go after the winning. So every winning will have a loss. So, but true mendicants don't have anything to lose. True mendicants got nothing to lose. True practitioner got nothing to lose. Whether your fame, reputation, all of these people ridicule you, people try to smear, campaign you, whatever they did. True practitioner do not get attached to their reputation, because every reputation is ego and pride, and these are afflictions. So one will not go after that. And particularly if your loss is, say, your only mother, which is, so say if you lost your only mother, that there is a reasonable reason to feel, she's not something you can replace with, But you just imagine, just rejoice all the years you had your mother. All the years you had your mother, and now you're only lamenting the years you wouldn't have your mother. Just think of them, all the years you had your mother. What are the good qualities of your mother you can emulate, that you can do them in her memory? Then you have actually her absence, Her physical absence has actually made you be fonder to renew, to live the legacy of your mother or her kindness, and try to treat that with your other older women as your mother. Treat them with the kindness, treat them with the respect, and they also will love you if you did that. So you don't have to feel orphaned by lack of your mother. You're attached to her. That's your suffering of loss. If you're not attached to her, if you really love her, you should rejoice incredible years that she has given to you in your life. And you had the fortune to have your mother until you're 45. Come on. Others have let the mother die when they were 4 and they never saw the mother. You had 44 years. Come on, Think like that. And then, of course, you still miss her, sure. But your mother, if you have an auntie, you go and try to develop affinity with her, or your neighbor, or someone, and try to see her as your mother. Because what is an old woman to do to you if she's not there? If you have care for her, do things for her, help her, do that to any other person, and they will appreciate you like a son to you or daughter to you, because you're not biological child of the lady. But if you try to do that, then you have someone to show respect and kindness to. Your mother have shown that to you, so why are you missing your mother? Because you have no one to show that to you? Come on, there are lots of people who wouldn't mind showing our kindness, generosity, compassion, and understanding. So if you are able to do that, then you rejoice every day. Oh, I have been fortunate to have my mother all these years, So but even though she is physically absent, but emotionally you're much more grateful for who she was, what she did to you. Now you can do that to others, You can do it. You don't become a mother because you're not a woman, but if you're a woman, now do that to your children. If you're a woman and you lost your mother, now try to emulate your mother's goodness to your children and other young people. That would be even better than having your mother. Your mother is many years older. She can't do any of that. Now you can do all of that because you love her and respect her, who she is, what she was good at. And you can emulate them, almost do it as it was she in you. You will therefore rejoice the fact what you learned, what by having your mother has taught you, showed you, and encourage you and empowered you. Now, have you lost a mother? No, you have discovered a new mother's quality in you. You say, "Oh, my kind mother taught me these things." Therefore, you have many particular tender way of showing you. So almost, you actually are. Of course, physical lack of her, absence of her physical body actually makes you even more fonder that how fortunate you have had her and her kindness, her generosity. Now you try to emulate that. This is very good, What we call legacy. Try to fulfill wishes that your mother have had in her life. You do those, she will love you for that. And she might be watching from the heaven if you believe in that. That what you're doing, she's happy what you're doing because you're fulfilling her wishes. You are emulating her good examples. You are honoring her by not being rude to other people, by patient to other people, kind to other people, because that was your mother, isn't it? So therefore, now you are able to do that. See, now the benefit of having mother hasn't been lost. You have actually rediscovered the mother's kindness and generous kindness. It hasn't been lost because it has now acculturated in you. So what are you missing? You want her to be always the do you. How can she? She's already, if she's alive, she's probably 73 or something like that. She will be more like she will need more than you are willing to do. So you're able to do. So what little you can remember your mother's goodness, try to emulate that, and then you actually do them in her memory. Very good, very good. People go and visit the headstone at the cemetery of the mother's anniversary. I mean, that's even that is good, but you can do much better than that. What's the benefit of going to the cemetery headstone? It's a sentimental attachment. Do something good in memory, mother, in everyday life. Go to the local school or local primary school or library or somewhere community organization. Go and do something there, like your mother used to do. And just tell people, this is what my mother used to do. I was taught how to do. Even though she's not with me, I'm doing this in her memory. When you do that, you don't suffer the loss of your mother. You actually are enlivening her goodness through that. And material possession, if you lost material possession, you don't have, no, you don't really need most of them anyway. So how much do we need? If the greed wasn't the problem, we really don't need much. So therefore, have some kind of contentment, what you don't need to have, rather than what you lost. It's very good, When we lost country, losing country is a big thing, Losing country is not just losing country, losing home, losing your valley, your river, your town, your animals, your house, your possession, everything, and including your passport, Just imagine that. You haven't lost enough. That's the problem. You've been so used to getting all the time. If you lost everything, it's very good, actually. Very, very good. If you lost everything in a fire, or if you lost everything in a flood, or like that, after that you recover from that and not get attached to things, and you don't see anything as a big problem to you to lose anything, because everything we have came from others. That means everything what we have was lost by somebody else. So we are the cause of their loss. So what do you mean that you wanted to gain at the expense of other people who are losing? So what would be the joy of winning when your winning is cause of someone else's misery? So that's why it's very important to practice equanimity. Equanimity is a middle way that when you suffer some degree of loss, so one need to say, all that are born, like my mom, she lived just that many years, and she lived long, and I was fortunate to have her this many years, and instead of wishing her to be still with you and frail and helpless and maybe lots of problems and you can't do anything with them, you wish they didn't have those problems, but now you have no problem because she doesn't exist anymore. So if they are alive, you are complaining. If they're not alive, you're complaining. When you're going to start having some kind of acceptance? Dealing with loss is acceptance of loss. It's good for your pride to have some losses, and it's probably good for your ego to experience those losses. Because. What's the benefit of gaining all the time? You cannot gain. There are lots of people who put on weight, and then they wish they lose weight. They never say, "I lost weight. It's terrible." They're so happy they lost 15 kilos. So when is loss of 15 kilos cause of joy? Because you realize putting all that weight is a problem. So then, therefore, you don't mind losing weight. So, but you were putting on deliberately without knowing them, and so your heavy being so obese or too much overweight is didn't come from somebody else. It come from your own unconsciously putting on the weight, and now. And unless you think it's overweight is a problem, you didn't want to lose. Now, when you realize you're overweight, you want to lose it. You want to lose weight. You want to lose weight, karmic weight, physical weight, emotional weight, physical attachment weight, possessiveness of a position weight. You're attached to being this and that, and yet that position is not tenable for you. You cannot hold it longer than that many years, so you can't. That's why they put a limit in many important world leaders' position only for 4 years or 5 years, and maybe a second term, but not allowed to do more than that. So that's why if when you are experiencing losing, it's not the fault of others that are robbing and taking away from you, but rather because your time to have anything in your position is limited. Everything is impermanent. Everything is impermanent. Because of that, you don't suffer the loss. But if you think you should be the one should control and be in that position all the time, you will suffer. You will suffer attachment. You're suffering. You're too attached to. You're not willing to let go. But other people who are willing to let go, where they let go the things graciously. They actually are very happy that someone can take over the position, and they don't feel they lost the position. They actually give very good advice and help. They sit on the side and they themselves graciously step aside without being so possessive. They don't call I lost my position. They say it is about time that I empower somebody else to do it, and therefore you don't suffer loss. So when is a loss? It's only relative. Relative to, you say I gained freedom. You can say I gained freedom. I gained freedom. I gave up my position, but I gained freedom. And so your freedom is more important, or your possessiveness of a position or something. So that shows whether one is attached to or not. So dealing with the loss is like a pendulum. When you have a gain, you will have a loss. When you have happiness, you will have sorrow. When you have friendship, and then the friendship will stay long. Not all friendship will stay long. All friendship depends how kind to each other. If the both are not mutually helping each other, the friendship will be quickly snapped. So if you have a friend with someone 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, there is a time it's no longer a friend. So it's not his fault, not your fault. It's the way it is. Everything changes. The weather changes, country change, government change, rules change, your ability change, your interests change. So if you're no longer interested to the blue sofa that you bought 5 years ago, you want to get rid of it, you don't go, I lost a blue sofa. You say, because you are not attached to the blue sofa. You don't say, I lost a blue sofa. So you can put another kind of sofa, or gray sofa. You bought a gray sofa. You don't say I lost the blue sofa and lament, because you're not attached to it. So loss is a sign of attachment, not of suffering. So this is very important. How when we make our mind to let go something that has its limited duration for which it is good. Say some people put lots of trust in someone. I trust you. I trust you will do that. But what did you trust in? Attachment. You want him to not to stay. You want him to be always fit or strong or able to do. But what if his ability run out? What if the butter lamp run out of oil? You don't trust the oil to burn longer than the oil of the fuel. The fuel was run out. What can you know? Maybe the butter lamp is very big, but the fuel only a half. So you don't get disappointed by the butter lamp for not burning very long because there wasn't enough fuel. See, we have to put the fuel and the wick all carefully. Sometimes even there is a good wick, even there is enough butter, but still the lamp can go out very quickly. Lamp can be blown out by wind or whatever, or fly goes in there or whatever. You haven't seen butter lamp go out very often. Not because it is lack of oil, because the wick is very weak. Or there was some wind, or some people cause movement, and there is many reasons for the butter lamp to go off, you see. You suffer the loss of oil, all the oil spill on the carpet, you lost the carpet, you lost the oil, yeah, you suffer everything. Now you attach the carpet, attach the oil. But if the oil ran out in the butter lamp burning, you wouldn't have complained. Now when it spills, you think it's terrible, yeah. So sometimes there are many reasons why something doesn't quite work out. You must accept it. You must accept it. That's dealing with the loss is you must accept it. So it's very important to have the fitness to accept things. Loss, not suffer loss, is acceptance of the length of time you were friends with, you were in a position, and you can't keep the position because they don't need you, or the position become redundant, and then you don't think you lost a position. You just say, oh, I had privilege to work in that place 5 years. Even if it did end really abruptly, you never say, oh, they fired me, I was made redundant. You don't say this, use this language. You don't say, I was made redundant. They say, oh, I had privilege to work 5 years. It's very good, positive, isn't it? Very positive, So then after that, what you do, it take a few years before I got this job or before I got that. You don't say that you are a victim of a loss because someone fired me. That's a really negative attitude. Loss is a negative. Freedom. I got freedom. I had the privilege to work in that position. After that, I had to move on, You don't try to blame somebody who firing you, or even if they did fire you, they got a lot of reason to fire you, not because they don't like you or whatever it is. That's not the case. There are many, many other causes, conditions why. So then you don't suffer the loss of the face to them, or don't think it is your lack of the position is not caused by them. Your having the position was caused by them. But if you didn't if you didn't apply the job, they would have never given to you. So if you shouldn't have applied, then you wouldn't have suffered the loss. It's because you experienced the result of your gaining the job. The day you got the job, you're so happy, and every ups and goes, you're down, The pendulum goes up, pendulum goes down. Scale goes up, scale goes down. Every coming has a going. Every meeting has a parting. Every gaining has a loss. It's inevitable. If you are very skillful to not suffer the loss, if you stop having the position, you slowly let go. And there's amazing gracefully letting it go, and you don't suffer the loss. Incredible thing about that is you don't harbor ill will if then you don't harbor ill will to somebody. Saying, oh, he did this, he fired me, he took this away from me, So it's very important to learn how to predispose ourselves. Is it we are attached to something? That's the word. Attached to something, then you suffer the loss. If you're not attached to it, in another blue sofa, So you put the blue sofa on the nature strip, hoping someone will take, and then when they take, you feel so grateful. You don't say, they took my sofa, I lost it. You don't say that. Why? They did, but you don't say say they're lost. Why? You detached. When you decide to not attach to it, the blue sofa is a gift. It's a gift to them, and you are really happy. You no longer have to have that sitting in your home because you decide not to have. Yeah. So you were the blue sofa in the position in the other people. They didn't want you, and then you are the blue sofa in them. So they got rid of the blue sofa. So therefore, instead of thinking it's the fault of other rejecting you or firing you or dumping you or betraying you, all these things are very negative. You have lost your mind to it. We need to gain our mind. We should have insight. We have to have wisdom, not to think like that, not to think as a victim, but we should see ourselves as have a role that we can play, wise or foolish. If you play the wise role, then you wouldn't suffer the loss. You will develop freedom. Freedom. If your attachment is strong, it will take a while for you to get over it. But if you're wise, you will don't make the attachment so strong. Because it's why make the poison so strong? It's already poison. If your attachment is strong, then the loss will be severe and takes years. Yeah, lots of people are depressed. You wouldn't believe. So many people are depressed because they don't know how to handle loss. They lost their mother, they lost their job, or they lost a friendship, or they lost their health, or they lost whatever, and they never recovered. Why? They got depressed. By not having the wisdom, they got attached to the thing as being real and permanent. It would have been good, so they thought, but it never is. In reality, nothing is permanent. Even your job, even your position, even your skill, even your ability, even your influence to someone, one day they will not listen to you at all. If you are a parent, you know what I'm talking about, Before they were 18 or 20, they're always there. You have to do round the clock, almost have very little time for yourself, and you feel needed, and all the time you feel needed, and you feel good, and all the time. And one day after they turn 18 or turn 20, you don't see them at all. Do you call them a loss? You should feel free. I'm free. Now they're liberated. I'm liberated. And when they need it, you and you mutually arrange to see each other. You can. Otherwise, your purpose of nurturing them is to set them going free, so you don't feel neglected or alienated or unwanted. If you think like that, you will suffer the loss again. Yeah, then they don't call you. You wish that it's what them calling you. They're not calling you. Then you feel forgotten, dumped, ignored, unwanted. Because you have a negative attitude, you have foolish attitude, you always think like that. You should feel free, liberated. If they want, they will come back to you. If you want them, you can contact them. You keep that not too much a possessive kind of possessive controlling parent. If you feel that I have served my role, it's good on them. May they be well and happy, and I love them unconditionally. But if they don't need to me, that's fine. If they need me, they'll come to me. You just think like that, and you never feel lost. Because there are lots of parents who are possessive. If kids are not there, they are whinging. If they're there whinging, they're always whinging. So it's good that you have no object to whinge. That's very good. So when you're going to make your mind to think enough is enough, that attachment. So dealing with the loss is inevitability of all things coming to an end. And they don't need to come with abrupt end. Things become abrupt only if you're not willing to. If you slowly let go, the bird you have been nurturing, egg has been hatched, and slowly now it's really able to fly. Just slowly let it go, If you are keeping the bird in the cage for you, you're not helping the bird. Bird is not designed to stay in cage. You are keeping it for yourself. If the bird ran out of the cage, flew away, you shouldn't think I lost a bird. The bird thinks I gained freedom today from my mom. The bird says, I'm happy today, I'm free. She gave me this miserable cage, she gave me all these things and never let me go there. She thinks I'm a bit of a pet, but she kept me as a prisoner all these years. And you think you have lost your bird, don't you? You think you lost your cat, don't you? They had enough of you. They are happy to fly, go wherever they go. They'll find another good home. Particularly birds are not meant to find a home anyway. Birds are meant to be freely flying in the wild. They shouldn't be kept in your miserable backyard in a little cage. You think you lost a bird, don't you? You're so attached to it, therefore you think you lost. I mean, there are millions of birds. Why you have to lose that one? Because you adopt it as mine. Because it's mine, therefore you think it's not you, now not with you. So, because I and me and mine is the cause of all the problems. If you let go, we call life release in Buddhism. We deliberately go and try to release bird and animals in cage or somewhere. We deliberately let them go freely in the water, in the wild. And we don't call that a loss. We call life release. Because those animals are caged. Those animals are trapped. Otherwise, and we deliberately, some of them are kept for slaughtering for a matter of days. If you didn't release that bird or the dog or the duck or whatever, some place they even eat dogs. Ducks, of course. If you release the duck, it will not be slaughtered because it was being kept in that cage. All these 30 ducks in that big pen. It's just they're all waiting to be sold to the people to cook for dinner. And if you release the duck to find, it's not a loss. It's a freedom. You're giving the release. So when is a loss? Only when you are foolish, you attach to it. When is the freedom and liberation? When you're not attached and let go. Now you don't have to try to think you have to get back at 5 o'clock at home to feed the bird all the time. You think you're committed to the bird, don't you? Oh gosh, I don't think so. Bird would be much happier if you let them fly in the wild instead of you trying to give those things. Well, who conditioned you? Who has he made you to become a kind of a stalking the bird all the time and call it mine? When you have adopted mine, then there is an attachment. I know people who have fostered parents, and then when the kids grow up, of course they want to be free. They want to go, and because the kids were so helpless and didn't have real parents, and they looked after it, and then of course then they realize they are not their biological parents, and then they realize, gosh, where am I? They never let me to contact, and they even a little bit angry at you because keeping away from the real biological parents. So they have real reason to wanting to go, wanting to find where their parents are. Those foster parents then become attached to the kids, and they want to limit freedom for that. Instead of empowering them and reconnect and meet with the parents, make connection. I know some couples, they have foster parents, and they deliberately take the kids every few years to their biological parents, because biological parents were useless. They weren't able to look after them. They still take to them and contact them. So if we attach to someone as me and mine, we will suffer loss no matter what. But if we are not attached to them, but we love them, we want to empower them, we wanted to help them, and when they become free, when they're able to find their own way to do it, we should let them go and feel proud that we empower them to be grown up and have education and so on. So you can see the art of letting go
is not just some things that you have to, but something you must. You must let go instead of suffering the loss. Its question is how long you suffer loss. Most people will suffer loss because they're still deluded. They're still attached to things as me and mine. They think they're their name. They think they're their biology. They think their actions or professions or things. But once you start knowing that these are all passing sceneries, and then you don't get attached to any of them, and you won't suffer loss. As you grow up stronger and stronger, as you grow older and wiser, and you have less and less loss, because you have more and more freedom. Freedom from attachment, freedom from enmity, freedom from possessiveness. So that's why they say there are 4 types of wealth, for instance. And one type of wealth is cause of discord. Your conflict with people is all about things. So that's when the wealth is cause of discord. Another wealth is useful, useful wealth, because you can use it for yourself, you can give to the friend, help the family and the people who need it, and you empower them. It's very useful. You get to do things, The third wealth is the enemy. The more you become possessive of wealth, the more your loved ones turned against you, not because of them, but because you are so attached to possess. You value money over people, and so you lost people, you have things. So you have enmity to people and over material things, So who wanted to possess material that is your enemy, or that makes people friends as enemy and lose all the friends, So sometimes that's like this, that wealth makes you to lose people. Like your mother, like your father, like loved friends. You lose them over material. There are people siblings are becoming enemies, fighting over money, So this is where the wealth is. When the wealth is enemy, it's not because wealth is enemy, but because we prioritize wealth over friendship. When we keep our friendship and kindness and generosity to each other, wealth doesn't interfere. They become useful cause of friendship. So why should people suffer loss? So the other is wealth that is indispensable. We always need a little bit of things we need to live, to survive. We need, but it is not. But people who for whom the wealth is indispensable, they survive with very small little things. But they wouldn't go extreme to themselves become enslaved by wealth, or turning the wealth become cause of enmity. And so that's why if the wealth is things are becoming cause of losing friends and losing loved ones, you don't want to suffer loss, don't you? So therefore, put people over money. That's the whole thing. Put people over money, then otherwise you will lose people over money, and you will not gain any happiness from the money. So therefore, loss of friend can be prevented by kindness, patience, and generosity. And the thing you spend for the friends is not a loss. It's amazing investment, It was good. Your friendship and their love or respect to you will stay long, because you will put people more important than things. So therefore, the whole idea of dealing with loss is how not to become attached to them as real and permanent, and not put material things before people. We can make material things when we have people, when we have friendship. It's very easy. It's when you have lost friendship and trust and respect and kindness and generosity with each other, everything is almost useless. It's cause of suffering. So with this, I will stop here. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me and being here, everyone. Thank you. We'll close this with short dedication of this prayer. Om Bade Mere Mewe Hawaga Da Deva Da Zage Ho Neze Me Al Hebere Da Be Brande O Jeno Bada De Zene Ere Da Mahayana Dije Wadeva Mere Da Hega me o be gas de la vas to ho da ma ya na de courage man ju shin yo de as a man da badra de la follow me o de za a ja de ge de mere me de selam bodhi jida tebe veda na ya daza it has been vomiting freely with the general. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.